TG Geeks, episode 374, April 18th, 2022. An Apple's on TV original, We Chat. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of Geek-dom and Nerd-ery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre. You name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely, I think it's summer now, Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, while it's becoming summer, why are my allergies back here in Phoenix, Arizona?
Exactly. Did you like that Apple's on TV
That was
original?
cute. Yeah, I thought, Apple's on. Yeah, I'm sure that the powers that be at both Apple and Amazon, are kind of like scratching their heads now after listening to that.
What the heck is that?
Oh, great. Now, who's going to buy out who?
Exactly. Here we go.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the Two Gay Geeks are discussing this.
Well, we don't have a guest this time, so it is We Chat.
Oh, boy.
Yay. Kind of like, what was that? It's the one that's WeWork. That's the new Apple TV original thing that or movie that they've done about the WeWork spaces and whatnot. Anyway, We Chat.
Okay.
Then we have our
I got nothing to add on that.
I see. Then we got birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast of the week. We got some feedback, regular shout-outs. In the second segment, we have a couple of things to talk about. I think we may or may not get time to do that. Then we have our wacky weekly recap and our regular shout-outs. So let's get right to it. I see you banging your head banging.
Well, yeah, I feel like also giving
you're banging your head against the desk.
Yeah,
that's the wrong kind of head banging.
And I feel like giving the putting my hand up, and getting all Beavis and Butthead, if you will.
Yep.
Anyway, it's just us.
Just us.
Now
We Chat.
Yeah, We Chat.
We have to have a new sound for that.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Yes.
Now I found this article with Kitty. Kitty. I saw this article that kind of caught my eye, and it seems to me to be more relevant now than ever, I would say. This is an article that came from Cult of Mac.
Yeah.
And it talks about how Apple TV Plus. Now, we're talking the streaming service. We're not just talking about the little hardware, but the Apple TV Plus streaming service has got, well, this article says it's got 3 hits. I arguably say it's got more than that.
Yeah.
Much, much, much more. But for the sake of this article, it's we're going to talk about 3 of them right now. And I think the first one that's got everybody's attention is the movie CODA. There's nothing boinging about that.
No, that was the wrong sound. Oh well.
Nothing boingy about CODA.
Nothing about CODA.
No, because this is a movie that deserved
absolutely
the Best Picture award at the Academies, and it also gave an award to, I think it's the Best Supporting Actor. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. I'm really sorry that I can't, but he's a hearing impaired actor from Mesa, Arizona. He got the award for that. And I want to add a little bit of trivia. Did you know that he supplied the sign language that the Tusken Raiders used in the Book of Boba Fett?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
he invented that.
Oh, cool.
He created that. So yeah, go for that. So yeah, there's CODA. This is a movie that, I don't know if it's because we had this stupid, great pause going on at the same time that they decided to just go with Apple as its source or as its means of distribution. Because normally Academy Awards only look at films that were going to theater, but obviously, for 2 years we couldn't have that.
It did play in theaters. It
did play in festivals?
Yeah, but
I think
it did play the opening night of the Phoenix Film Festival.
That's
and
right, it did.
Some festivals, some festival runs are
true.
Oscar contender.
That is true.
Yeah,
that's true, and we know that sometimes studios will like to send a movie to a festival that is Academy worthy, if you will, just in time.
Yeah.
Just in time so that it hits or it qualifies for Oscar nomination.
Yep.
But it didn't get wide stream distribution in the theaters.
Right.
So for the fact that this movie's biggest distribution was Apple TV Plus, and yet get nominated, just to be nominated is such a huge deal. And now it's won 2 huge awards. You've always there's always your secondary awards and whatever, but there's those few massive big awards that everybody looks at with Academy Awards. Best actor, best actress, best picture, best director, things like that.
And Academy Awards is morphing into something.
It could be, and maybe out of
different.
necessity.
Exactly.
Well, that's an argument. What it's morphing into.
We'll not talk about that.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
We haven't watched 2 years in a row now. So.
No, but in this particular case,
and
the
that's
fact
the
that
gay Super Bowl.
Yeah, it has been. But in this particular case, for a movie,
do you want me to interrupt you some more?
I'll just stop.
Go ahead.
The fact that this movie was able to actually...
Oh, I just thought of something.
I'm going to take this mic off the stand and throw it at you. Again, CODA won. That kind of says a lot, but there's not just that movie. What they have done in terms of television shows...
Oh, my gosh.
...is
There's
astonishing.
Several different television shows.
Now...
Well, for example, that I ripped off, there is I think it's a movie. I don't think it's a series. I think it's a movie or pseudo documentary or whatever on the WeWork phenomenon, which is the individual office spaces around the country and around the world that you can, rent office space for a singular person or meetings and or whatnot. I don't know anything about what it's about, but I do know about the WeWork spaces. There's one out actually next door to the Apple store and out at Fashion Square.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I wasn't aware of that.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's something we may want to look into, especially given the present working climate as it is. But Apple TV Plus has also really done some massive stuff in the area of fiction television. And one that we've had a lot of chat about that made a huge impact on people was Severance.
Oh, my Lord. Wow. What a
crazy
series.
This was one of the most amazing television shows to hit the airwaves, in my opinion. And one of the reasons why I know it made a big deal is because you got Ben Stiller, who is the producer of this series. I mean, and now he's on the talk show circuit.
Yeah.
Radio shows. He's doing TV shows where they interview over Zoom. I mean, he is all over the place now talking about Severance, which kind of indicates what sort of an impact this series has managed to make on people, not just in terms of its weirdness as a science fiction show, but also some of the social issues that it's bringing up in terms of what it's like to have a severed life between your home and your work, and what are some of the consequences that you deal with that?
Yeah, to be separated from a whole other piece of your life that you don't know exists. Mm-hmm. It was very disturbing. The whole premise, it was very disturbing to me, just simply from the fact that you're a whole person. You're not these two separate entities that don't know anything about the other half. Mm-hmm. Your personal life influences your work life, and your work life influences your your personal life, I wish it weren't so sometimes, because they do interfere with each other. But that is part of being a human being and getting and learning to overcome those differences so that the best of the best is in both aspects.
A person is the sum of their own memories.
Exactly.
And to be able to split that in half is damaging in ways that really harbor a lot of conversation. I mean, I remember hearing Howard Stern say that he actually wished Severance was real. He wanted it because he is really right, because he's dealing with a personal tragedy, well, a near tragedy in the terms of his father. His father's in very, very bad health, and it invades his work. And he wishes he didn't have to remember it. And that's very much like our character of Mark in Severance, who doesn't want to remember. He's grieving over the apparent loss of his wife, who he believes has died. But by severing himself, he's able to come to work and fully function and all of that. So yeah, the series it brings a lot of really great questions to television and to the audiences, and the fact that, again, it has managed to, in my opinion, from what I've seen, it has cracked that pop culture barrier, and it's now part of the water cooler conversation. Now, I'd be willing to bet. I mean, I think that if we were in the offices again, full time, it would be a point of water cooler conversation.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, a couple of shows that they talk about in this article is Ted Lasso, and we haven't watched it.
No, we haven't.
I watched the trailer, and I
couldn't handle it. The trailer really just turned me off.
It really did.
But it's enormously popular.
Exactly. It's huge.
A lot of people love this show. So, personal taste notwithstanding, again, there is this comedy, sort of a sitcom that everybody's just going bananas over about what. It's, I don't know what you want to call it. I guess it's sort of a mocking look at sports. I don't know.
I have no clue.
No clue. But I want to touch on another show that you and I are huge, massive fans of, and that was Foundation.
Oh my gosh. What a
brilliant show.
It really was. And well made.
Very well made.
Oh my gosh. It's just a very well-made series.
And that's a testament, in my opinion, to the Apple TV Plus service now. And I remember when Apple announced
and they made sense of Asimov.
They did. No kidding. I mean,
anybody that can do that.
I mean, we have both said that the Foundation trilogy, or now, Foundation series, is one of the most indiscernible works to get through. I mean, it's very, very deep, very hard to read. For us, I'm sure other people had no problem reading it, and if you could, I tip my hat to you.
More power to you.
More power to you. But
you're insane.
But Keith and I had a hard time. Keith and I had a very hard time getting through. Once we were done with Harry Seldon at the beginning of the book, I was lost. So, but the series was amazing, and I remember when Apple TV Plus was first announced. I think it was Tim who announced at one of the the big WDC or Apple big gatherings, whatever, first announced Apple TV Plus, and I thought, so what? I mean, what they were showing was of no interest to me whatsoever. They were getting, they're getting some great people who are going to be involved in it.
Who's Tim?
Oh,
Tim?
Is that his name? At Apple, the head of Apple.
Oh. What an eccentric performance.
Cute. I'm going to let the rest of this article go for you. Take it away.
No. I'm just being a smart aleck.
So, in any case, I was not all that interested in the Apple TV Plus service, but then I heard the announcement that Foundation was coming to Apple TV Plus, and then I became interested.
And so did a lot of people.
I think, I'd be interested. Yeah, because I seem to remember reading a lot of subscriptions just went up right before Foundation started. But what's great is that Apple has managed to find a way to retain their audience by bringing more diverse shows in terms of movies and series to their service.
Exactly.
So I mean, we've talked about Severance, and I want to talk about the one that we're now watching that has just got us completely both enamored, and that is. Do you want to talk about Slow Horses now, or do you want to wait?
Sure.
Okay, so let's talk about Slow Horses. Wow, this is a spy show starring Gary Oldman.
Oh my gosh.
It premiered April 1st. It drew enough viewers to become number 9 on the list of popular streaming shows. Now, if I read that right, that's talking about streaming shows on all streaming platforms. If I'm reading this article correctly, not just number 9 on Apple, but Amazon, Hulu, Netflix. The fact that it could hit number 9, I think, really says a lot. And it's a British spy series that is wow. I don't quite know how. It follows a team of British intelligence agents who serve as a dumping ground department for MI5. Ullman, and I'm reading this off of Cult of Mac. Ullman stars as the brilliant but irascible leader of the spies who irascible, please. That's an understatement. That is a huge understatement. The irascible leader of the spies who hope to get their careers back on track, as unlikely as that is. Irascible. No, maybe multiply that by infinity, and you might get Gary Oldman's character in this one.
Oh,
Lamb.
My God.
His name is Lamb, and he's anything but a lamb. This guy is just a jerk. But he's smart. He's cagey.
Yeah.
He's always got a plan going. And despite the fact that he just completely butchers his team at every possible turn, I mean, just denigrates them and tries to make them feel less than zero. There's something about it that has them, I think, primed and ready for anything that happens. I think the show is absolutely fantastic, and they just aired. I want to say there's episode 4.
Yeah, and they're unfortunately they're releasing them one episode at a time.
Well, that's something that Apple does. They release them on a weekly basis. So I think we all kind of got spoiled with how Amazon was doing things with
Netflix,
with Upload, and Netflix especially. Let's just do a complete dump. I think Hulu sometimes does a complete dump too, not all the time. But we were getting really used to this idea of being able to see, just kind of mainline and binge through all of our shows, in one big sitting. But I'm beginning to think maybe there's some value in this returning to the weekly viewing thing. I mean, maybe that serves a better job at retaining your audience.
Yeah, and it's taken actually from a book series by Mick Herron, and Slow Horses is actually the first book in the Slough House series.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been contemplating whether to buy it. I don't want to buy it, mid-season.
No, because then, two things. It might get spoiled. I mean, you get spoiled in terms of plot,
and then
you might
wait till the end of the season. Then I want to get the book and see.
I think that's probably the best thing.
How else it fills in.
Yeah, because A, you don't want to get spoiled by the plot, and B, perish the thought. Actually, and this is a common case. What if the book is better?
Exactly.
And then it spoils the rest of the series because it doesn't hold up. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terribly happy with Apple TV Plus. Like I said, I thought this was a very sketchy thing at the beginning because when Tim Cook announced it at first, it just
kind of seemed like just another thing to take your money.
Yeah, it really did. I mean,
because,
I know that.
Granted, they had Oprah and they got her on board and they got some this.
Well, I remember Chris Evans was going to be a part of it. Yeah, he said Oprah was going to be a part.
But nothing excited me about.
I mean, the only thing that kind of got my attention, but not enough to watch it because I didn't like the subject matter, was a series that Chris Evans was starring in about. He's a father, a husband, and their son may or may not have killed his best friend.
Right.
So there's this trial, and there's this pulling away the layers of mystery to determine, did his son really kill his best friend? So I saw that and I thought, that is just bleak. And we've got enough bleak in the world, in my opinion. I
Exactly.
didn't necessarily need to go down that road. And so as much as I like Chris Evans and think that he's a very solid actor, I didn't want to... That was not enough for me to say, oh, I've got to catch that.
Right.
Foundation.
Until Foundation.
Foundation was the lure.
And then they upped their game.
Big
at that point.
time.
And, I mean, now we have all of this stuff. I think they realized, oh, we're not gonna get by on just this, pablum.
Right. And in the meantime, as you pointed out, they have added some of the most amazing documentaries. Some of them are LGBTQ documentaries, and because Apple is a very LGBTQ friendly and supportive company.
Really? I wonder why.
I can't imagine. But there are also some great music documentaries too. We started to watch one about the music of the 70s, which was terribly interesting.
Yeah.
So there's some great stuff on Apple TV Plus. I think this platform is definitely now going to become a major player, a major contender, and possibly reshape the future for all streaming services for their benefit. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing The Adam Project as a movie, maybe get some nominations somewhere. I mean, okay, it was a fluffy piece of work. Maybe it's not Oscar worthy, but I'm sure Netflix is probably taking a look saying, we might want to think about doing some original content too that, maybe is considered Oscar caliber.
Well, and I think, and to jump all the way back and say the reinvention of the Academy Awards, I think it's morphing. It has to morph.
It has to
into
evolve.
something else. It has to evolve because we have too many streaming services now that have too much wonderful content that is not seen anyplace else.
Right.
And it doesn't get the recognition other than the people screaming from the rooftops like us.
Exactly. I'm okay. Granted, CODA did something smart by hitting
Right.
the film festival circuit, but had it not been for that, who would know about it?
Yeah.
Especially in today's climate. I mean, now granted, yes, theaters are opening up and people are going back again, and that's great. But CODA is not one of those movies that I think would have done very well in the box office.
I still say we need a new set of awards or, included in the Academy Awards for streaming services, etc.
That a new category. That's not a bad idea, and maybe that might be the future.
Categories.
Or categories, yeah. Or it's just one big or set of categories that fall under streaming services.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, and maybe that is the future for the Academy Awards.
And it could be a totally separate, thing.
And
that
it
that is televised like the Academy Awards are. And then
it could
they
be.
To fill that out, they could fill in the technical awards that we never have ever seen.
No. No, yeah, because they've always done that at some private dinner event that always takes place before the Academy Awards. And who knows? Maybe this is a great way to marry the Academies and the Emmys.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Anyway, so yeah, that's our chat. And yes, we did take up 20 minutes.
Yes, we chat.
We chatted.
Hey, this is Josh Hurley, narrator of The Last Son and the Hanged Man by Katie Edwards, and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
I love the way my chair swings.
Yeah, I can see that. You could put that on a loop. Well, actually, it is on a loop. What am I saying? Play the loop and then do this, and that's your muscle exercise for the day.
Yeah, there we go.
I wonder if the Apple Watch will actually count that.
Probably not. It doesn't capture the vacuuming when I remember to wear it.
Well, but are you which arm are you using to vacuum when you run the vacuum?
My right.
Well, that's why. Switch the watch. Move it to your right wrist and then vacuum and see.
Butt.
Or vacuum with your left hand.
Do you want everything broken?
Well, then that's why you need to switch the watch over to your right wrist and then see what happens. I bet it'll count then. And I'm going to remember that the next time I have to mop the floor.
There you go. Here's a few selected birthdays for April 18th through April 24th, 2022. April 18th, David Tennant.
Oh, my God.
Actor. Jessica Jones, Broadchurch, and a little thing called Doctor Who.
Arguably, probably the most popular actor to play the Doctor in the series' new incarnation.
Yeah, and Peter Davison's son-in-law.
Yeah, because he married the Doctor's daughter.
Yes, that was in
the Doctor's daughter.
Exactly.
And played the Doctor's daughter.
Exactly.
I mean, you could not get any more meta than that.
Yeah, and actually, Peter Davison was David Tennant's favorite Doctor.
Yes, he was. I mean, it's like you could not ask for a better marriage, or a family coming together, if you will.
Exactly. He's a fan of Firefly.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and his favorite Doctor Who monster is the Zygons. Because he can't let the Zygons be Zygons.
You just made that up.
Rick Moranis, actor, alumni of SCTV. He was in Ghostbusters, Little Shop of Horrors, Spaceballs, and Honey, I Shrunk the Insert Name Here
franchise
series of oddities. Yes. His wife
Honey, I Shrunk the franchise.
Exactly. His wife died of breast cancer in 1991. And they had 2 young children.
That's why he retired from acting at the time.
He's semi-retired from acting. Did a couple of things in that period, but not voiceover
lot.
Stuff.
And
mostly.
he made a good chunk of change on the Honey, I Shrunk the franchise.
Yep.
That also his Strange Brew. I mean, that he did that Strange Brew movie some years ago.
Yep.
And that continues to make money for him. So he was in a position where he could just retire and take care of his kids, be a stay-at-home dad.
And now he's still doing a few things here and there. You'll see him pop up once every other year or something like that. A voiceover or a little bit part or just a whatnot. And he's actually scheduled to reprise his role as Wayne's was it Wayne Zelensky? Yeah, in Shrunk.
Right.
That is in actually pre-production right now.
Yeah.
April 19th, Natalie Dessay. We were just talking about her last night.
Yeah.
Opera singer. She was a cacolatura, and she sang
people are going to believe that.
Coloratura. Coloratura. The cacolatura was Victor Borge.
Right.
Yes. Sounds like they cackle, though. No, Coloratura, and her claims to fame were singing Olympia in Tales of Hoffman.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. She's brilliant when she could do that. She sang Zerbinetta in Ariadne of Naxos and the Queen of the Night in the Magic Flute. Had great agility and a lovely voice. I mean, she was clear as a bell. She was very agile,
when
very
she was
precise, etc. However, in researching her in 2002, she had surgery to remove a vocal cord nodule.
Oh, dear.
And then again in 2004, surgery to remove a polyp on the other vocal cord. And she continued to sing, but was sadly unpredictable after those 2 surgeries.
I remember we saw her in a production of La Traviata, and her voice was a mess.
Yep.
I mean, it gave some greater credibility to the character of Violetta.
Yes.
That she had, that her character had tuberculosis, especially when she was singing Sempre Libre. But you don't want to hear that when you're going to an opera. You want to be able to hear them sing, and
dying at the top of their lungs.
Yeah, dying of tuberculosis at the top of their lungs. And that's what you want. And Natalie Dessay had quite the reputation at her time. I mean, I will say my favorite role of hers.
She canceled her performances of Macbeth because she had
couldn't
some
do
issues.
I will say that my favorite performance of hers is in La Fille du Régiment.
Oh yeah,
because it's in her native language,
exactly.
so she was able to. The speaking parts were obviously done in French, and she was able to just fly out in the French language, which is her native language, obviously, and make it sound so natural and grumbly and funny, and she was a delight.
Yep. She finally retired from opera in 2013, but continues to record and perform concerts today, just because it's
more controlled. I think
it's more controlled, and it's on her time schedule.
She can do that when she
doesn't
knows
have to sing every other day.
Right, when she knows that she's in good form to do that.
Exactly. She doesn't have to sing for 4 hours every other day, or
because
every third day.
I mean, we've seen opera singers. I mean, just last weekend we saw a soprano do 2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row, and I'm sure
she probably sang the next
too.
day.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure that must have been taxing.
And she was in great form on
Fabulous.
Saturday night.
She sounded better Saturday than Friday.
Exactly.
Which meant that Sunday she must have been gold.
Exactly. And then we have Tony Plania, actor, character actor, going way back. He was in West Wing, among many other things. He was the father in Ugly Betty. He did West Wing. He was 2 episodes. I mean, he did back to like 85.
Oh, I remember him in
a number of things.
Oh my God, comedy, The Three Amigos.
Yep. And then after Ugly Betty, he began to show up a little bit more frequently.
Well, I think that broke him into the mainstream.
In The Punisher.
Right.
And he's done over 70 films.
Good for him.
Yeah. He was born in 1952 in Cuba, and his parents escaped Cuba with a small child.
Wow.
And made it west to
California. Look what he did. He's made a good career.
Exactly.
Ah, that's wonderful.
Yep. And then we have our friend Richard Fairgray, who's a comic book artist and eccentric, shall we say. Kristen Noon and Kyle Kazmierczak, Russ's brother.
April
20th. George Takei, actor and activist, known as Sulu on Star Trek, keeps busy still at the age of 85.
He will not slow down.
Nope. Voiceover and a few character actor spots here and there. His family was sent to an internment camp, which he recreates in his play Allegiance, which is brilliant.
It's gorgeous.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
but gorgeous.
It is. It's still it's a beautiful play. He's become it's such an amazing activist for the LGBTQ community as well as Japanese Americans who had to endure and their families who endured the internment camps.
Yep. Then we have John Elliott Gardner, English conductor specializing in early and Baroque music and on-period instruments. He's a wonderful conductor. And turned out some wonderful albums, CDs, whatever you want to call them today, cassettes,
recordings,
8-track tapes. Who knows?
Far out.
Reel to reel, vinyl,
cylinder.
Yes, cylinder, live. Then we have
cave drawings.
Cave drawings, exactly.
Yeah, if you run the rock right in the groove of the cave drawing just right, you can reproduce that music.
That's called original instruments.
Right.
And then we have a friend of ours, Alexander Ronberg, who is a filmmaker from Sweden.
Aha.
Yes. April 21st, Leonard Warren. I was just talking about Leonard Warren on Tuesday night with...
was it Jennifer Cano?
Yes, Jennifer Cano. We were sitting together. And he was an opera singer, a leading baritone at the Met. Sang many years with the Met, mostly the heavy Verdi roles. In March of 1960, he was singing the part of Don Carlo in La Forza del Destino.
Oh, dear.
He had just sung the Act 3 aria, which begins Morir Turda Costa.
Okay.
That was... what you call it? Messed me up there. Anyway, it's to die, a momentous thing. When he collapsed on stage and died right there. He was 48.
I mean, wow, what a way to go. But boy,
one of
I would have been
half a dozen that have died on the Met stage.
Yeah, and I mean, when you say you die on stage, I mean, I think I would have been horrified to have been witness to that.
Yeah, well, he was singing against Renato Tibaldi at the time.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah. John Cameron Mitchell, actor and singer, most known for his creation of Hedwig. In Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
And the Ancient Inch.
The Ancient Inch,
Yeah,
yes.
the Ancient Itch.
Well, he is the Ancient Inch now, so...
Okay.
As we all are.
Okay. He's still younger than us.
Well, that's true. He also co-wrote or wrote and directed the movie. Quite controversial, but it was a great film about exploring your own trauma and working your way through it with a lot of great music thrown in.
I was going to say the music in that movie is just incredible.
It's just, even if you don't watch the movie, the music is fantastic.
You know, that's what, I mean, I remember Brendan dragging us out to see it. And while I found the movie very entertaining, it was the music that just dazzled me.
Yep. Then we have a friend of mine and coworker, Tasca Hardison. Happy birthday, Tasca. April 22nd, Asao Tomita, famous Japanese composer / performer, a pioneer of electronic music inspired by Wendy Carlos and Robert Moog. He kind of, it was a right up there. He discovered the Moog synthesizer and picked one up after hearing Wendy's work and Robert Moog's work. I had a couple of his albums, pictures at an exhibition from 1974.
I remember we talked about this.
From
yes.
1976.
I remember talking about this last year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just incredible music. Just incredible music. John Waters, filmmaker, controversial filmmaker.
Quite.
Grew up in Baltimore, and most of his films are set there. A childhood friend, Glenn Milstead, a.k.a. Divine, was featured in his films until she died. His films combine... I can't talk today. His films combine outrageous subject matter with a sense of bad taste, where he satirizes mid-century suburban America with camp.
That's fair.
That's pretty much it.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a fair cop.
Friend of ours, Greg Essenmacher. Happy
birthday.
April 23rd, Sergei Prokofiev.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Composer, 20th century Russian composer. Actually was born in Ukraine, by the way.
Imagine that.
The Lieutenant Kijé Suite, Romeo and Juliet, Peter and the Wolf, and your favorite opera, Love of Three Oranges.
Oh, God. Hardly my favorite work.
He composed across multiple genres and styles because Love of Three Oranges was an opera. Peter and the Wolf was what do you call it?
That's a really good question.
A story.
I mean, it's a symphonic work, but
it's
with
a tone poem.
Yeah, I think a tone poem is actually a really good description.
With
narration.
Narration.
Yeah, a tone poem. That's a really good definition.
Yeah. Romeo and Juliet was a ballet.
Was it a ballet that he wrote the music to, or did he write the music and then someone made a ballet out of it?
Well,
I can't
he wrote
be sure.
the music, but Diaghilev created the ballet.
Okay.
But the music was for Diaghilev's ballet.
What I like is his symphonic work.
Yeah.
His Fifth Symphony is just hair-raisingly beautiful.
Then we have Max Planck, theoretical physicist, originator of quantum theory. He was actually a gifted musician himself. He played the cello.
I am not surprised.
Piano and the organ, and composed a couple of operas. As a matter of fact.
Really? I didn't know that. But really, the idea of a scientist actually being a musician is not unheard of.
No,
I mean a lot of them have done that.
Music is mathematics.
Yeah,
it's all mathematics.
And even and I dare say that there's. Maybe, if you're going to look at the hemispheres of the brain, maybe they said at complete polar opposites. I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up.
Yeah, there we go.
But I've seen so many amazingly creative, artistic people also being able to be incredibly analytic.
Yep.
Or analytical.
Analytical. And then we have a friend of ours, Michael D. Russo. April 24th, Richard Donner.
Oh, my word.
Film director, Superman, the movie, and
Yeah.
Superman 2 that was
The
shot at
director's
the same time.
cut.
Yeah.
The director's cut, not the theatrical cut.
Yes. Directed a bit of TVs in the 60s, including several episodes of Twilight Zone
Oh, I'd like to see those.
and a couple of episodes of, wait for it, Gilligan's Island.
Oh my God, I don't know if I want to see that. The one thing that I'm really happy about is just as he was doing promo for a home release of Superman 2, the director's cut, and he had appeared on the Frank DeCaro show. And the very next day, you and I were in New York, and we were on the Frank DeCaro show, and I was sitting in the very chair that he had sat in the day before me.
Cool.
So, yeah, my ass sat in the same chair as his ass.
Yes.
How's that?
He did all the Lethal Weapons movies and Scrooged.
Yes.
Died last year at the age of 91.
Great legacy.
Yep.
He's a fantastic director, and I do like his Lethal Weapon movies. They are entertaining.
Yes. And then we have Eric Kripke, writer and producer of Supernatural, wrote the screenplay for House with a Clock in Its Walls.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. And then we have friends of ours, Marianne Asanuma, Eric Elick, Laura Lee C., and Mr. Randy Lesson.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to all of you. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Hi, everybody. It's Beck and Hamish with the Fizz Podcast Radio Show. And we're asking you why you're not listening to our Fizz Podcast Radio podcast show now. I messed it up.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. No, really, it's the Fizz Podcast Radio Show with Beck and Hamish. And after this show's over, go look it up and take a listen to it. Da-dun, da-dun. Dun,
Radio
dun.
show.
Woo!
Give a listen to Hamish and Beck at the Fizz Popcast radio show. And now, let's see, here we go.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
And before I give my regular shout out to the Joshua Tree Feeding Program, we run the Trevor Project and the Trans Lifeline spot in every single episode. Given the political climate as it is today, there are a lot of young people, not to mention older people, that are struggling with where do they belong, you know, LGBTQ young people, trans folks, people that are questioning their sexuality, people that are questioning their, you know, who they are. That's why we run those spots. Please, if you have issues, if you have a question about anything,
Or if you know someone that is having a problem.
absolutely, please reach out. As I say at the end of the Trans Lifeline, please reach out for help. You are not alone. So I want to give a shout out to the Joshua Tree Feeding Program, 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for the HIV and AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. They set it up just like a store where the clients can pick and choose nutritional items that they can take home, and it empowers them so no food is wasted. They also have a second distribution day for those in the gender nonconforming community that may be experiencing food insecurity regardless of HIV status. They have a pet assistance program where they provide some pet supplies. They are an all-volunteer organization, but they could certainly use your help of any kind of donation. If you want to donate to the Joshua Tree Feeding Program, you can go to jtfp.org, and you can set up a monthly recurring gift or a singular gift, or find out how you can shop for them and deliver that food. Check out Joshua Tree Feeding Program.
And it's time for our feedback segment. These are comments that we received in response to articles or episodes that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com and shared throughout social media. And the links for each of these stories will be in the show notes for this episode article of TG Geeks episode number 374 that you can find at tggeeks.com. Starting with regarding TG Geeks episode number 369. Got a comment from On Stream Productions. Ben and Keith, the fabulous duo from TG Squared Studios, had Colin.
Who are they?
I have no idea. Yeah, a couple of tossers. Had Colin. Colin is a filmmaker.
He's not a tosser.
No, he's not a tosser. They had Colin on their latest show, and he got a chance to open up about making Stitches. It's a short film. And his love of zombie and body horror movies. Give it a listen and subscribe to this fantastic show. Wow.
It was a great
It was a great conversation we had with
Yeah.
Colin. But hey, to the people at On Stream Productions, thank you.
Thank you.
That's very kind of you to say that. Moving on, regarding Ben's breakdown, the Atom Project may be sci-fi fluff, but it also has tremendous heart. Got a comment from my dear friend Julie Marshall back in California. Well, I knew her in California. She's just saw it yesterday, and I loved it. Bring on the fluff.
Yeah.
Moving on, Hamish Downey's News Sushi number 122, morsels of news from Japan and beyond. Got a comment from Sean Patrick Murtaugh, who says, thank you, TG Squared Studios and Hamish Downey, for helping to promote my Kickstarter for the Mario 101.
That's Mario Lanza,
Right.
opera singer.
And Hamish responded to that saying, thank you for sharing. You really have a beautiful voice. Moving on, regarding TG Geeks episode number 370, got a comment from James Spring, who we gave him a birthday shout out. He says, happy Monday, guys, and thank you for the shout out. And then we close it off regarding the unbearable weight of massive talent in theaters everywhere, April 22nd. Got a comment from the Fizz Popcast radio show on Instagram. And they said this is either going to be amazing or horrible.
Or amazingly horrible.
Or amazingly horrible. Or horribly amazing.
Exactly.
Take your pick.
Take your pick.
And that is our feedback.
And if you want to leave a comment on anything that we publish, whether it is our episodes that we publish or it's any article that we publish, you can do that by going to tggeeks.com and commenting directly there. You can comment on our Facebook page, our Twitter or Instagram, or for the episodes, you can comment on our YouTube episodes. Also, we have a listener feedback line, and if you want to call and leave a voicemail, we will play that on air so that we can hear your voice, and you can be famous just like us. You can call 469-TG-GEEKS, that is 469-844-3357, and as always, please play nice.
For more than 2 decades, Judy and Dennis Shepard have honored their son Matt by working to erase hate around the world. The Matthew Shepard Foundation honors his legacy by inspiring the good work of activists, teachers, artists, and legislators, and everyday LGBTQ+ folks and their allies. Join us today in helping to erase hate. Visit MatthewShepard.org.
Thank you to Comcast NBC Universal for that promo. Good Lord, I can't talk today. Everybody knows we're huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. We want you to go and find those independent creators, whether you look at their Facebook page or you look at their Twitter page, Etsy page, Instagram, their website, wherever you might find them. Talk to them, talk to other people about them, and buy their stuff. Tell other people that you bought your stuff. Please consider supporting independent creators. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Well, we have a few minutes to talk about a couple of other things that we're watching. One of them is a BritBox original mystery.
Well, that one, we finished that, but it was a 3-episode.
3?
Yeah.
Was it 3?
Yeah.
Oh,
3.
Thought it was 4.
3.
Okay. 3, sir.
Yeah, 3, sir. 5. It's right out.
Right. It's called Why Didn't They Ask Evans?
And it was an Agatha Christie mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And featured Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
Oh, my gosh. And
Julie Boynton.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. It was really a fascinating look at a different type of Agatha Christie mystery. I think that maybe this one she didn't flesh out quite as much, or they condensed it a little bit more for
Hard to
3
say.
episodes.
Somebody said that on IMDb said that they had read the book and that the book, apparently they felt the book and the series were very much close.
Really?
In terms of how they were presented, and this person didn't like either.
Interesting. Well, I thought it was good.
I liked it.
It got a little, in the 3rd episode, a little disjointed because too
tiny
many
bit muddy.
things were going on.
Yeah, and that was another critique, saying the 3rd episode, it was just too much happening too fast.
Yeah, but I liked it. But it all made sense, and thank God we didn't have to wait till the very last page.
No, actually
they wrapped it up.
Yeah, they
then.
wrapped it up very nicely. And I was rather pleased with it.
Yeah,
it was a nice little series. If you're looking for a nice little diversion and you've got BritBox, then yeah, by all means, check out Why Didn't They Ask Evans? It's a fun show. I liked it.
Yeah, and now,
oh my God,
we're
watching on HBO Max
Julia,
about Julia Child.
Oh my God,
this is it's sort of a docu-series, if you will.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it features.
Oh God, David Hyde Pierce as Julia Child's husband Paul,
and
Bebe Neuwirth
as
Avis, who's Julia's best friend.
Yes, and it's like they fell back into their roles.
Yeah.
On Frasier.
Especially in the first episode, the very first episode, there's a scene with the two of them, and the way they were talking to each other, oh my God, it's Lilith and Niles all over again.
Exactly.
And I thought, it's like, it must be like muscle memory. But then I showed you an interview that they appeared on, and these two people, even before they did Frasier, they knew each other.
Yeah. And it's great. And we saw that those are their personalities.
Oh yeah,
because when we saw that taping of Frasier, Bebe Neuwirth was there.
Yes,
and then she said, "Just let me do it."
Let me do it. Yeah, because David Hyde Pierce, he was trying to replace a glass in between takes. He said, "I don't know where this glass is supposed to go." She said, just let me. And she grabbed it, and I went, "Yeah, that's life imitating art."
Exactly.
But they're in this new series of Julia, and I'm really enjoying it.
It really is good.
The actress who plays Julia Child is fabulous.
Yes, it takes right from the point that they move back to Massachusetts. They've built the house. They've done the kitchen. And
you could say this is right after this picks up right after the movie Julie and Julia.
Exactly. And she goes in to WGBH in Boston for it's
supposed to be just a book review.
A book review.
Yeah.
A little "What am I reading?" by, Stuffy, what's his name?
Yeah, who knows? I can't remember. But instead, she thought, well, we're going to talk about recipes. So she does one better.
Took a hot plate and a pan and some eggs and
made
him an omelet. And thus began the French
her
chef.
meteoric rise to the French chef on television.
Exactly.
And, oh my God, she really... what I find fascinating about her...
She was a force of nature.
She really was. But what I found fascinating is that for a time, she really hated the adoration.
Yeah. It wasn't until this last one when
then she said
they went to San Francisco
like
and saw James Beard, one of her close friends, and he took her out.
Took her to a gay club.
Yeah, and she realized, oh my gosh, people do love me.
Right.
So,
but she still had this little thing where she couldn't understand many times why people loved her so much.
Yeah.
And we're getting a really good sort of an eye-opening look at Julie's personality, her personality, and why she reacted to people sometimes the way that she did. And I think it's fascinating. It's a brilliant study in her.
Exactly. You should check it out.
Absolutely.
It's great. If you're a fan of Julia Child, check it out.
And it's time for our weekly review. These are items that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com this past week, and the links for each of these will be in the show notes for this episode article, episode number 374 at tggeeks.com, starting with Sunday, April 10th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 95, on Monday the 11th, TG Geeks episode number 373, on Tuesday the 12th, Ben's Gay Book Breakdown, You and Me delivers healing through love and chosen families. And I just want to say, I freakingly love that book. One of the best things I think Tal Bauer has ever written. I love that book so much. On Wednesday the 13th, 20th Century Studios' The Princess, to premiere July 1st. On Thursday the 14th, Focus Features will release The Northman in theaters.
The Northman.
Yes, The Northman. In theaters on April 22nd, 2022. On Friday the 15th, Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Shizuka Anderson. And on Saturday the 16th, Breaking Glass sets release for RuPaul's Drag Race breakout Queen documentary, Workhorse Queen.
That looks fascinating.
I saw a little bit of it, and
trailer,
it looks great.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Scott Motisco from Breaking Glass for sending that to us.
That looks really good.
We may have to get a screener for that.
I don't like to screen documentaries very much, but I'd make an exception for this one.
It looks great. Wrong.
Oh, that was funny. I like that. Well, yes,
that sound is just right below the other one.
Yeah, go. It somehow it sort of felt appropriate. We have some shout outs that we need to make. First to Brian Weber, our good friend, also known as Arkle. He's on Twitter as Geek of All Trades, referred to as Brian the Ampersand List YouTuber. And he posts his Arkle Times Post Dispatch news on Twitter, and that's how you find it. So just look for Brian the Ampersand List YouTuber, or search for Geek of All Trades. That's the letter G, the number 3, the number 3, the letter K, of all trades. And while you're looking for all things Arkle, go to his YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Arkle Studios. He has a number of projects there. His Shameless Cash Grab series, which is in Season 7. His Rants vs. Zombie series, it is over, but past episodes are still there. He also has Arkle Tier Ranks, as well as game videos of Trick and Treat, as well as Star Trek Online. We must also give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, to Gay Geeks After Hours. Big thanks to the moderators for saying we could share away our content. And their web address is facebook.com/group/Gay Geeks After Hours. And then to The Gay Geek, for the same. And their web address is facebook.com/group/thegaygeek. And as always, we give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Other places we can be found are Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci Fi Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays, and listen to their other content. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. Peace.
Cheers.